Hi guys, welcome back to another plan with me. For today's video, we are gonna be decorating a classic spread in my Happy Planner using some beautiful summery Recollections pattern paper and my Happy Planner box sponge. So let's get started. As usual, remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't before you forget. And in here is a quick flip through of this pattern paper pad. It is not a new one, so I have already used it before, probably last year, but it's a beautiful one. As you can see, I still have a lot of the pages to use. So now that I have my box sponge, of course, I needed to put it into good use again. And as you can see, it is a summer themed paper pad with really beautiful colors and images. And like I said before, it is from Recollections from Michaels, one of their 6x6 paper pad. Now I will just go ahead and punch out a few boxes with my Happy Planner box sponge out of my favorite patterns from the paper pad, including those that I have used before, because after all I used it a while ago, so I don't really mind at all using the same beautiful patterns again. And as you can notice, there are some huge designs in this paper pad, so I am punching out those papers that have smaller patterns, and I am punching out all of the papers that I think I might be using, even when at the end I didn't even end up using them all. But you can always save those pieces for a later spread, so it doesn't really matter. Also notice that this paper pad is more like cardstock, so the papers are kinda thick. Like I have said before, I don't really mind that, but if you don't want to add a lot of bulk to your planner, maybe you should stick to more lightweight pattern papers. And this paper pad also features some beautiful gold foiling, which adds a really pretty touch to your spread. And pattern papers are very versatile because you can decorate a whole spread with only pattern papers, but you can also combine them with stickers, stamps, or stencils. You can punch out boxes, but you can also punch out other shapes out of them, so the possibilities are endless. And in here, as you will see, I will use this bigger design and I will just fussy cut around it to use it almost as a big deco sticker, and that will help breaking out the boxy look without taking too much time, because we don't want that either. Unless you do, that's totally fine, of course. But you can take an image like this one and you can cut around it in as much or as little detail as you may want to, and it will add a beautiful and different element to my spread. And here you will see that I already added some washi tape to the edges of the holes, which is from Recollections, also from Michaels, as well as all the washi tape that I will be using here in this spread. Again, they are summery washi tapes, and they are not from this year. They are just washi tapes that I have had in my collection for a while, but I still love them, so I was really glad to be able to use them again. And even though I absolutely love those mermaid scales washi tape, I ended up switching it to a strip of pattern paper from the paper pad, because I totally forgot that in there was a beautiful strip of cardstock that I really wanted to use. So you will see that I will end up switching that one up, but again, it's just because I wanted to use as much of the pattern paper as possible. And by the way, I cut down that top and bottom washi tapes. They are from thicker rolls, but I cut them down to be a little thinner, as I tend to do, and for that I simply used my paper trimmer. Once I was done with the washi tape, I went ahead and I added some adhesive to the image that I fussy cut before from the pattern papers, and I simply sticked it down to the corner of my spread, and I absolutely love how it looks in there. I think it makes a really beautiful statement. And the adhesive and the glue that I used for that is in my Amazon favorites, which you can find in my Amazon storefront, which is linked in the description of this video. And here I finally remember the stripped design in this paper pad. So now is where I simply decided to switch up the washi tape that I placed on the top of my spread, because look at those tropical florals, how not to use it, how did I even forget? And it was just the right size to cover up the entire week, since I was gonna cut it in half anyway. Although if I wanted to use the whole height of that strip, I could have done that, because in the paper pad we get more than one of each paper, but in my case it was a little too thick as it was. So as you can see, I cut it in half, and I absolutely love how that turned out. It looks like the florals were coming from the top, and I think it looks really beautiful. Now, even though that kind of paper design is perfect to cut in strips, you can also use that pattern paper to punch out boxes out of it. You will just get a box with a stripped design, but it will still be really pretty, and that would be a way to pull into your spread all of the colors and the patterns. So that's just another option. Then I decided to add a couple of stickers, mostly to fill in the sidebar, and for that I used my wild styled sticker book from the Happy Planner, since I thought the theme from the pattern paper goes perfectly well with the wild styled theme. But as you can see, I basically just used a couple of quotes, and for that you can use any sticker book and any quote sticker that you may have. And now I am just gonna stick down my full boxes. As usual, I will layer some of them and I will offset them all. I will not even try to place them within the boxes in my planner pages. But again, if you do not want to add more bulk to your planner, I would definitely avoid layering. Anyhow, layering is one of my most favorite things to do when decorating my planner pages, so I will just ignore the bulkiness. After all, my planner to me is almost like a scrapbooking without the photos, or like an art journal, so I always like layering when decorating with either pattern papers or stickers. And like you can see in here, the tape that I like using, which is in my Amazon storefront, can be just ripped. So if I want to accelerate in the process, I simply place a strip of adhesive to the back of my papers, and then I rip it off with my ruler, just like I used to do with washi tape. And this is the Father's Day week, so I went ahead and I took this Recollections sticker from Michael's, again an oldie but a goodie, and I placed it in the middle of this full box. Then I cut out a strip from the stripped pattern paper that I used before, and since it has little stars in a row, I decided to cut out that strip into my checklist for this week. And because I knew I was gonna end up with fairly small pieces of cardstock in here with those small checklists, I decided to add the adhesive before starting to cut them down. That way it was gonna be easier to just peel up the backing paper from the adhesive to stick them down to my pages. I also cut out some other decorative pieces from the pattern papers, which as you can see are like some small Polaroids with words spelled out on them, and I added those to my spread as well to add more decoration and more fun elements. And in here I took another strip from the stripped pattern page that I have been using throughout the spread, and this time I cut out a few flags from it. As you can see, there are quite a few ways that you can use those stripped patterns. Of course, if your specific pattern papers do not include one of those pages or designs, you can create strips of paper with absolutely any pattern design. And to me, little flags are one of the cutest and easiest elements to create for your planner spread. You can trace them first with a stencil, or you can just eyeball them like I did in here. Once again, I added the adhesive first and then I cut it out. Now I decided that the Father's Day flag doesn't match enough with anything else on this spread, so I added this iced coffee sticker from the Happy Planner in a very similar shade of blue to make that flag match a little better with something else in the spread. And I also punched out a couple of little circles from the pink pattern paper to add more of that pink to the rest of the spread. And here I almost ruined my spread because I felt like it was looking a little messy, so I decided to add some lines to the checklists. Anyhow, because the lines ended up being so close to each other, and I added the lines to every single checklist every single day, it ended up being way too many lines. So I totally regret doing that. I actually like the lines, but I should have added them maybe every other day instead of every single day to every single checklist in my spread. And these pattern paper spreads take me a while, so at this point I was so done with this spread because after all there wasn't much that I could do about the lines anyway. So I decided to still love my spread because hey, it's still really pretty. I think I love the papers, I love the colors, so I will just enjoy it regardless of the lines. And I hope you also like it, at least enough to give me a big thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And I wish you all a happy Father's Day week. Thank you everyone for watching, and until next time, take care and stay safe. Bye!